On a crisp November evening in 1975, the tranquility of the Apache Sitgreaves National Forest in Arizona was shattered by an event that would baffle investigators and captivate the world for decades to come. A group of loggers, led by foreman Roger Smith, were returning from a day's work when they encountered something extraordinary: an unidentified, flying object hovering above the trees. The men, initially skeptical, were drawn to the strange craft, their curiosity overriding any fear. Among them was 22-year-old Travis Walton, a logger who would soon become synonymous with one of the most controversial alien abduction cases in history. As the men approached the object, a beam of intense light shot down from the craft, engulfing Walton and lifting him into the air. His terrified co-workers watched in horror as their friend disappeared into the blinding light, leaving behind only the echo of their screams and the lingering smell of ozone in the air. This chilling incident marked the beginning of a mystery that would consume the lives of those present, sparking years of debate, scrutiny, and speculation. The events of that night would forever be etched in the annals of UFO lore, raising profound questions about the nature of reality, the existence of extraterrestrial life, and the limits of human understanding. Was Travis Walton the victim of an alien abduction, as he claimed, or was there a more earthly explanation for his disappearance? The answer, like the flickering lights of the UFO itself, remains elusive, shrouded in mystery and controversy. The sudden and inexplicable disappearance of Travis Walton sent shockwaves through the small logging community and beyond. His co-workers, reeling from the traumatic experience, raced back to the nearby town of Snowflake, Arizona, to report the incident to the authorities. Their story, a bizarre tale of a UFO encounter and an abducted co-worker, was met with a mixture of disbelief and skepticism. Sheriff Marlin Gillespie, a seasoned lawman, was initially convinced that the men were fabricating the story, perhaps to cover up a more sinister crime. The disappearance of Travis Walton had all the hallmarks of a homicide investigation, and the outlandish UFO tale seemed like a desperate attempt to mislead the authorities. Despite his reservations, Sheriff Gillespie launched a full-scale investigation, dispatching search parties into the vast wilderness where Walton was last seen. The search, hampered by the rugged terrain and the fading light, proved futile. Days turned into nights, and hope dwindled with each passing hour. The lack of any trace of Walton fueled speculation and intensified the media frenzy surrounding the case. The story of the missing logger and the UFO sighting spread like wildfire, attracting the attention of ufologists, paranormal investigators, and news outlets from around the globe. As the world waited with bated breath for answers, the question remained, what happened to Travis Walton? As the search for Travis Walton continued, the suspicion surrounding his co-workers intensified. Law enforcement officials found it hard to believe their story about a UFO, suspecting that they were involved in Walton's disappearance. The men were subjected to intense interrogation, their every word scrutinized for inconsistencies. The rugged terrain of the Apache Sitgreaves National Forest hampered search efforts. Search parties, consisting of law enforcement officers, volunteers, and tracking dogs, combed through the dense undergrowth, hoping for any sign of the missing logger. Despite their tireless efforts, the search yielded no clues, deepening the mystery surrounding Walton's disappearance. The media descended upon the small town of Snowflake, eager to cover the sensational story. Reporters hounded Walton's family and friends, seeking answers and fueling speculation. The constant media attention added to the pressure on the authorities, who were no closer to solving the case. As days turned into nights, the hope of finding Travis Walton alive dwindled. The lack of evidence, coupled with the unbelievable nature of the story, led many to believe that Walton was dead, the victim of a tragic accident or foul play. In a bid to determine the veracity of the loggers' claims, Sheriff Gillespie subjected each of them to a polygraph test, a controversial tool often used in criminal investigations to detect deception. The results of these tests would send shockwaves through the investigation and further complicate the already perplexing case. Each of the 6 men, visibly shaken by the experience but steadfast in their account, passed the polygraph examination. The polygraph examiner, a seasoned professional, concluded that the men were being truthful about their experience, adding a layer of credibility to their extraordinary story. The polygraph results, while not admissible in court, cast doubt on the theory that the loggers were involved in Walton's disappearance. The results suggested that they genuinely believed they had witnessed a UFO and that their friend had been abducted. However, the polygraph tests did not provide concrete answers. The science behind polygraphy remained controversial, with some experts questioning its accuracy and reliability. While the tests indicated that the loggers were not lying, they did not prove that they had actually witnessed a UFO or that Travis Walton had been abducted. The polygraph results deepened the mystery, adding another layer of complexity to an already baffling case. The question of whether the logger's account was a genuine recollection of an extraordinary event or a fabricated story remained unanswered. Section 5. Walton's Return, a tale of alien abduction. 5 agonizing days after his disappearance, Travis Walton reappeared as suddenly and mysteriously as he had vanished. He was found disoriented and dehydrated, lying on the side of a rural road several miles from where he was last seen. His reappearance ignited a firestorm of media attention, turning the small town of Snowflake into a hub of activity as reporters, investigators, and curious onlookers descended upon the scene. Walton's account of his ordeal sent chills down the spines of those who heard it. He claimed to have been aboard an alien spacecraft, subjected to medical examinations by strange humanoid beings. His recollection, if true, provided a chilling glimpse into the possibility of extraterrestrial life and the potential implications of human contact. Walton's story, while extraordinary, contained details that resonated with other reported alien abduction cases. His description of the spacecraft, the alien beings, and the medical examinations bore striking similarities to accounts from other alleged abductees, adding a layer of credibility to his claims. However, Walton's story was met with skepticism from some quarters. Critics pointed to the lack of physical evidence and the psychological stress he had endured as possible explanations for his seemingly fantastical tale. Despite the skepticism, Walton remained adamant about his experience, maintaining his story throughout the years, even under intense scrutiny. Section 6. Inside the alien craft, Walton's account. Walton's description of his time aboard the alien craft was both terrifying and awe-inspiring. He claimed to have regained consciousness inside a sterile metallic room, his body restrained on a table. Panic surged through him as he realized the gravity of his situation. He was trapped, alone, and at the mercy of beings from beyond our world. He described his captors as humanoid in form, but with distinct differences that marked them as otherworldly. Their large black eyes, devoid of pupils, seemed to pierce through him, analyzing his every thought and emotion. Their movements were fluid and graceful, their skin smooth and grey, devoid of any hair. Walton recalled undergoing a series of medical examinations, his body probed and scanned by advanced technology beyond human comprehension. The experience was invasive and terrifying, leaving him feeling violated and vulnerable. He described a strange humming sound that seemed to vibrate through his very being, accompanied by flashing lights that disoriented his senses. He claimed to have briefly encountered other beings within the craft, some resembling humans, while others possessed more bizarre insectoid features. The memory of these encounters haunted his dreams long after his return, fueling his belief that what he had experienced was real, not a figment of his imagination. Section 7. Skepticism and counter-arguments. The Travis Walton abduction case, despite its compelling narrative and the insistence of Walton and his co-workers, has not escaped the scrutiny of skeptics. Critics point to a lack of physical evidence to support Walton's claims, highlighting that the entire case hinges on eyewitness testimony, which can be unreliable and subject to suggestion. Some skeptics argue that the loggers, under pressure from the intense interrogation and media scrutiny, fabricated the UFO story to cover up an accident or even foul play. The polygraph tests, while seemingly supporting the loggers' claims, are not foolproof and have been known to produce both false positives and false negatives. Others propose that what the loggers witnessed was not a spacecraft, but rather a natural phenomenon, such as ball lightning or a meteor, which they misinterpreted due to stress, darkness, and a lack of understanding. The human mind, prone to perceiving patterns and seeking explanations, can sometimes misinterpret sensory information, leading to false memories. The psychological impact of trauma and stress cannot be discounted. Critics argue that Walton, after experiencing a potentially traumatic event, may have unconsciously created the abduction narrative as a coping mechanism, his mind filling in the blanks with fantastical elements. Despite the skepticism, no alternative explanation has been definitively proven. The lack of a conclusive explanation, coupled with the unwavering testimonies of Walton and his crew, keeps the debate alive, ensuring that the case remains a subject of fascination and controversy. Section 8. The aftermath and long-term impact. The Travis Walton abduction case had a profound and lasting impact on the lives of those involved. Walton and his co-workers, once ordinary loggers leading unremarkable lives, were thrust into the global spotlight, their names forever linked to one of the most controversial UFO cases in history. The intense media scrutiny, public ridicule, and accusations of fabrication took a toll on the men. Their personal and professional lives were disrupted, their reputations tarnished by the stigma associated with UFO claims. The experience left them emotionally drained, their friendships tested by the pressure and scrutiny. Despite the challenges, Walton remained steadfast in his account, refusing to be silenced by skeptics or pressured into recanting his story. He became a reluctant spokesperson for the UFO community, sharing his experience at conferences and in interviews, advocating for the serious study of UFO phenomena. The case sparked a cultural phenomenon, inspiring books, documentaries, and a feature film, Fire in the Sky, which dramatized Walton's alleged abduction. The film, while entertaining, took creative liberties with the story, further blurring the lines between fact and fiction. The Travis Walton abduction case, regardless of whether one believes it or not, highlights the profound impact such experiences can have on individuals and the challenges they face in gaining acceptance and understanding. It serves as a reminder that the search for truth can be a long and arduous journey, fraught with obstacles and uncertainties. Section 9. A lasting enigma in ufology. The Travis Walton abduction case, despite the passage of time, continues to intrigue and divide opinion. It remains one of the most well-documented and investigated UFO cases in history, a testament to the enduring power of the unknown. The case's legacy extends beyond the realm of ufology, sparking conversations about the nature of belief, the power of human perception, and the limits of our understanding. It serves as a reminder that there are still mysteries in our world that defy easy explanation, phenomena that challenge our preconceived notions and push the boundaries of our knowledge. The debate surrounding the Travis Walton abduction case is unlikely to be resolved anytime soon. The lack of conclusive evidence ensures that the case will remain a source of speculation, inspiring both belief and skepticism in equal measure. The case's enduring significance lies in its ability to make us question, to challenge our assumptions, and to consider the possibility that we are not alone in the universe. It stands as a testament to the enduring human fascination with the unknown, a reminder that some mysteries may never be fully solved, but continue to captivate our imagination and fuel our desire to explore the vast unknown.